You know that weird feeling when a new year starts and you're like, this time I'm totally gonna change?
Yeah, we've been there.
We're in that weird time of year again, you know? The post holiday, pre spring, what do I do with my lifetime?
Oh, yeah, the great annual reset. I love it and I dread it all at once. It's like the whole world collectively decides to buy a gym membership and a blender for smoothies on the very same day.
Exactly. And like, I get it, I really do. There's something so hopeful about January 1st. But why? What is it about that specific date that makes us think, okay, this is it, now I'm going to change my entire life? It's just another Tuesday, right?
Right. It's a huge psychological phenomenon. It's called the fresh start effect. Our brains are wired to see time in chapters, like a book. So a new year, a new month, even just a Monday feels like turning a fresh, clean page.
A new page. Yeah, that makes total sense. You get to leave the scribbles and the mistakes on the old page behind. It's a psychological permission slip to start over.
Precisely. And here's the really interesting part, the part that explains so much. Our brain, specifically our reward system, gets a little hit of dopamine, that feel good chemical, just from planning the change.
Wait, just from planning? Not from actually like getting up and doing the thing?
Not yet, just from imagining this new, better version of yourself. The one who wakes up at 5 a.m. and meditates and drinks green juice. The fantasy is often more rewarding and certainly easier than the reality of the hard work. And that's a bit of a trap.
Oh, wow, that is so true. So my brain is basically tricking me into feeling accomplished before I've even started? I spent like a whole afternoon last year researching the perfect running shoes, making the perfect playlist. I felt so productive. But then, I think I only went running twice.
That's it exactly. Your brain got its reward from the planning phase. It felt like you'd already accomplished something. So the motivation to do the actual, difficult part, getting out the door when it's cold, it just wasn't as strong because you already got the prize.
My brain tricked me, so it sets us up to fail, which is not great. Okay, so that leads right into the next big question, the February problem. Why does that powerful mental trick just stop working? How do we get from just planning to actually, doing?
Ah, yes, the great intention action gap. That's the core of it all. We rely on motivation and willpower, but both of those things are finite. They're like a phone battery, You start the day with a full charge, but every decision you make, every temptation you resist, it drains that battery a little bit.
So just trying harder isn't the answer because by the end of a long day at work, my battery's at like 1%. The last thing I want to do is make another hard choice.
Exactly. So you have to stop relying on the battery. You need a system that works on autopilot. This is where habits, identity, and environment come in. They do the heavy lifting for you.
Okay, break that down. Let's start with environment. What does that mean?
It's about making your desired choices the easiest choices. We are lazy by nature, so use that to your advantage. If you want to eat healthier, don't just put an apple on the counter, hide the cookies in a hard to reach cabinet. Or better yet, don't buy them. You're adding friction to the bad habit and removing friction for the good one.
So you're basically designing your life to nudge you in the right direction. My running shoes should be by the door, not in a box in the closet.
You are the architect of your habits, which brings me to identity. This is maybe the most powerful shift. Most people set outcome based goals. I want to lose 15 pounds. The problem is, you only feel successful when you hit that number.
Right, and that could take months.
A better way is to focus on identity based goals. The goal isn't to lose weight, it's to become a healthy person. Then every day you just ask yourself, what would a healthy person do? A healthy person would probably take the stairs or have a glass of water. Every time you make that choice, you cast a vote for that new identity.
Oh, I like that. Casting a vote. So it's not about being perfect, it's about showing up and making small good choices that build up over time. So how do you turn that identity into like an actual habit?
You start ridiculously small. I'm talking about the 2-minute rule. Any new habit should take less than 2 minutes to do. Read before bed becomes read one page. Do yoga becomes take out my yoga mat. And I really love this. You use habit stacking.
Okay, what's that?
You link a new habit you want to form with an existing habit you already do without thinking. So, after I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. Or after I take off my work shoes, I will immediately change into my gym clothes. You're anchoring the new difficult habit to an old automatic one.
Okay, that I could actually do. So, after I brush my teeth, I will do 2 push-ups, something like that. It sounds so small.
It sounds almost ridiculously small, right? But that's why it works. You're not building the habit of exercising, you're mastering the art of showing up. Once you're showing up consistently, you can increase the difficulty. You're building a foundation, brick by tiny brick, instead of trying to build a whole castle in one day.
That's so much less daunting. But what about the social pressure? I feel like in January, my social media is it's full of people showing off their new routines, their perfect progress. And if I mess up even a little, it feels like I'm failing in public. Like, well, I ate a cookie, so the whole day's ruined. I might as well give up.
The comparison trap. It's brutal, and it ties right back into that all or nothing mindset, that perfectionism. And that's where redefining success is so important. Success is never perfection. It is never perfection. Success is progress.
But what does that look like? How do you measure that?
First, you adopt a simple rule. Never miss twice. Life happens. You'll have days where you're sick or busy or just not feeling it. It's okay to miss one day. That's an anomaly. Missing 2 days in a row, that's the start of a new habit. So the goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to get back on track as quickly as possible.
I love that. Never miss twice. It's so much more forgiving.
It is. And second, you shift from tracking outcomes to tracking your process. Instead of only tracking the number on the scale or the number of books read, track your effort. Did you put on your running shoes today? That's a win. Put a check mark on your calendar. Did you open the book? That's a win. You celebrate the act of showing up, not just the final result.
So you get more chances to feel successful, which coming back to the dopamine thing probably makes you want to keep going.
Absolutely. It builds positive momentum. And it brings us back to something we talked about before, having a theme for the year. A theme like my year of health is so much more forgiving than lose 20 pounds. Eating a salad is living your theme. Going for a walk is living your theme. Getting a good night's sleep is living your theme. You have countless ways to succeed every single day.
It just feels kinder. A kinder way to approach self-improvement, not like a punishment for who you were last year, but like an exploration of who you could be.
That's the perfect word for it, an exploration. And that's a journey anyone would want to stay on, long after February's over. It's about growth, not just goals.
And I think a huge part of that growth is learning how to handle the slip-ups, because they will happen. We're human. The goal isn't to never fall down, it's to get better at getting back up.
That's such a crucial distinction. It's about treating those moments not as failures, but as data. What went wrong? Why did I skip my workout? Was I too tired? Was my schedule too packed? You're not judging yourself, you're just gathering information to adjust your system for next time.
Exactly. It's about being a scientist in your own life. And speaking of systems, what about adding other people into the mix? Is it a good idea to tell people your goals? I feel like that can go both ways.
It really can. There's some research suggesting that telling people your goal can sometimes give you that premature dopamine hit, just like planning. But I think it depends on who you tell and how you frame it. Having an accountability partner can be incredibly powerful if it's the right person.
So, what's the secret? What makes someone a good accountability partner versus just someone you complain with?
It's someone who will celebrate your wins with you for sure, but who also isn't afraid to ask the tough questions. Someone who will say, hey, you said you were going to go for a run this week. How did it go? Not in a judgmental way, but in a supportive, I'm invested in your success way. It's a shared journey.
So, it's less about pressure and more about partnership. I like that. And I think that ties back to celebrating the process. You can share your little wins with that person, which makes them feel more real and reinforces the habit even more. It's not just a check mark on a calendar, it's a shared high five.
Okay, I'm sold. My theme for this year is, I'll have to think about it. but I'm definitely picking a theme this year.
And we are curious about your New Year's resolutions and wishes. Let us know in the comments what are your top picks this year, and also what had worked for you before and what not so much. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you all for joining us today. See you in the next one.